Hey guys, welcome back to the Pizza Story podcast. I have a really special guest today, Al the Pizza Buddha. Hey Al, how are you?
Good. How are you? Aloha.
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I've watched your show on the internet, seen it, and I was like, wow, all right, this is a cool story. Let's see what's going on.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you on. I've been checking out your Instagram page and all your pizza, and I'm really interested to hear your story. So tell me about your early beginnings and how you got into pizza.
Pizza for me goes back all the way to college and being a freshman in college making pizza. First learning how to make pizza at a concept called Boston's North End Pizza in Hawaii, Kauai. I'm a sophomore in college and I was taught by this other Filipino guy who barely spoke English. And he's showing me how to stretch the dough, and you got to stretch 50 of these doughs, let them sit in flour. And this was 20-inch, 3-pound New York style, but it was a Boston pizza named concept. And that was it. And that was my introduction to dough with pizza. I've always had pizza or dough in my life in the form of bread. My grandfather was a home baker, so I'd seen how to knead the dough in the home mixer and watch the Fleshman's yeast instantly rise and do the self-baked bread and just be fascinated that happened. So, and that was like my early introduction into pizza. Ran that, did that for a bunch of years, and then moved to San Francisco and mentored Tony Gemignani, the almighty Tony Gemignani. It's been my real inspiration in how cool pizza could be. And I was like, wow, this guy's made pizza look really cool. He's young. He's got the team. And look at these guys. These guys are like the new kids on the block of pizza. Here we go. So it was really exciting to see that kind of energy in pizza back then. And I was inspired by that and really went for it. Followed under Tony. We eventually became good friends. And to this date, we still message each other back and forward and help each other grow. But to this date, I mean, this is a short I can go on. We could do multiple talking about this story, but there's some stuff out there that has already been shared. So to just keep it short and sweet, it was really that introduction. And now it's become an obsession of learning, taking all those learnings of owning a business, small business, in an island, sourcing's hard. How do you make amazing pizza back in the early 2000s before Instagram? Now
Mhm.
it's Instagram, Google, Chat GBT will write dough recipes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my job might be numbered here, but it's really a difference rather than recipes of what I deliver, right?
Yeah.
There's a pizza consultant, there's what I do as Pizza Buddha platform. And the journey I've taken in pizza is less about making recipes, amazing pizza on Instagram, successful brands, but really helping clients understand what to be worried about with owning a business, how to train your staff, how to build morale, how to stay engaged in, everyone has this passion or, romantic moment of pizza to them. I want to preserve that to where they don't hate pizza, and I can attest, like there was a moment in my life where I hated pizza. I was like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, this is so hard. I can't stand this business. I'm not making any money. It looked really good on paper. It looked really good on photos. It tasted great. My 12 friends loved it. Why is nobody coming? I'm making bread. And
Yeah.
that to me really like hits me. And I'm like, I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that are going through that now.
Yeah.
And that's really what spawned into the consulting and Pizza Buddha platform and where we're going today on what we're trying to do to help clients. My wife, Carly, has become such an integral part. You can see her on the internet. She basically runs
Nice.
pizzabuddha.com, social media, and she's helping me on the ground on site with clients, recipes, expo, how to talk to, my client's wife while she's freaking out because we're changing so much in the restaurant, or, helping talk me something down, or how do we have another insight as to what something should look like and help guide them through. So it's a broad range, broad, but, very granular step approach of how we help people. And that's kind of my story of pizza today, right? it's,
Yeah.
it's, it's long drawn. There's a lot of emotion driven with pizza. I think as business owners, we all have an emotion, veterans and newbies have all,
Yeah.
I'm working with clients that are found on YouTube and started making pizza in their apartments, to clients who DiMaggio's Pizza, 50 years in business and fourth generation pizzeria operators, but now having to deal with social media. I have to be like an influencer now rather than just making pizza. Right. Joe
Yeah.
mentioned something, he posted something the other day. I didn't know I signed up to become a social media manager. Right. And creating and managing content as a small business is tough, on top of bills, dough recipes, staff. And now I got to make a post. But before, now I tell clients, hey, don't just post a photo of your pizza. You got to have a heartbeat now. So that's kind of the challenge and journey we're going. And we just got back from Italy. I've never been to Italy. 20 years in
Wow.
pizza. I've never been to Italy.
That's amazing. Tell me about your Italy trip.
It was awesome. It was everything I dreamed and hoped it to be, and the experience of going with to compete in the Caputo Cup, a prestigious competition, and go to the birthplace of pizza in Naples. It was mind blowing. And to see it just, my experience all the way to Hawaii when I first learned how to make wood fired pizza was, okay, now you got to get this $85 bag of flour from Naples and bring in this bufala mozzarella in this container that's $10 a ball, and this San Marzano tomato to make this margarita pizza. And here I am in Hawaii going, I got to charge like $30 for that thing.
Yeah.
And on top of people in Hawaii already not knowing about pizza, they're used to pizza, Costco. They see this wood fire floppy, and Tom Elcano, Matt from Brick Fire Tavern, all do great jobs on doing that now. But it was really hard trying to do that. And I was, wow, how do I get to Naples and see how they really do it? And I was like, wow, we were doing a really good job in America on making pizza. I was blown away. I was not to knock on Italy or pizza. It's a heavily touristed world, but I loved seeing how great America's doing with pizza, right? And how we're really leveling things up.
Yeah, especially nowadays. There's so many good, authentic pizza places where people really have a passion to make really, like, great tasting food with quality ingredients.
It's really what it is. It's passion. It's the recipe for success. Everybody on these calls I take with individuals, it's the number one thing I'm looking for on an intro call is how are they running financials and spreadsheets and numbers and telling me how many millions they're going to make, or are they telling me how are they going to build this and what type of community establishment are they going to become, right?
Yeah, and you're so spot on the business side because just coming from a family like my grandfather opened his pizzeria in 1960, so it's been 65 years, but it was so many years of just not really making money, just enough to keep it open, and then starting with the marketing and social media, and that's my background, done that 20 years. So when I went to my dad, who's almost 70, and I tell him that, he's like, "I don't believe in marketing." He's old school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So then we put the marketing in and we like quadrupled the business, but it was like when you're running the pizzeria and your passion is the pizza, you don't have the marketing like and the time to do the marketing because that's just like a full-time job.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is these days. And marketing is, I tell clients, it's less about building the pizzeria. Yes, it's a lot of money, but we spend all the time. Everyone loves to build, right? It's fun to build the pizzeria. It's fun to buy the equipment. It's fun to spend other people's money, right? It's at the
Yeah.
end of the day, that's what you're doing when you're buying these $50,000 pizza ovens, the mixer, dealing with the design. You're basically building a house, right? So everything's going into it. It's fun. Then you got to maintain the house. Nobody wants to do that part, right? That's the hardest part. And that's where the 87, 90% of pizzeria op restaurant statistics come into play, right?
Yeah.
And that's the dirty work no one wants to do. And now marketing has become such an integral part. I preach to people going, hey, let's worry less about the dough recipes and what type of flour and what type of oven we're going to buy. And let's focus on what people are going to think about us when they Google us. That's really more important, less than $20,000 neon sign. It's more about Google, because before, any social platform, anything online on the phone device these days, it's so important.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
back
absolutely.
to Italy, it was awesome going there. It was awesome to experience it. Carly and me have never been. And, to go there and experience Rome, we went there for a week first, got to see such historical sites, like seeing the Colosseum in a social studies book as a kid growing up on Guam and seeing the thing in real life and
Yeah.
realizing there's no way I'm going to stand in that line to walk in that thing. That was cool to get a selfie right near it. And eating the pizza, right? Roman style pizza tunda. I've been researching all of this. Roman alla taglia, having the real, some of the greats, some of the new school, the old school. Going to Naples, meeting Enzo Cocha, Gino Sorbillo, seeing all of those greats, and hanging out with Scotty from Scott's Pizza Tour, and
Oh, I
having,
love him.
he is so
He's
awesome, and
great.
hanging out. We were just in Brooklyn consulting Brooklyn DOP. We hung out with Scotty there for a day, and we're like, hey, we're going to the Caputo. Oh, guys, I'm the judge. Scott, this is amazing. So we ended up having undisclosed pizza crawls with Scotty, and everybody who knows Scotty, if you get to hang out with Scotty for even an hour, it's
Yes.
not only just eating pizza, it's a historical lesson on life. I picked up books. I learned about, where pizza was made. Brandy, I just saw his post the other day, and I was like, wow, we were literally just there. And, it's just all of that kind of stuff, and hanging with him, being with the World Pizza Champion team. It was always just getting on the team a month ago and getting to finally experience. My dream was to always go compete with Tony and the team. Tony couldn't be there, but being with everyone else from the team and feeling that camaraderie of,
Yeah.
we're here to not only Expo's one thing, right? It's like, okay, we're going to Pizza Expo, but to go to an international competition and represent America was a whole nother level for me. I got to meet the kid from Japan, Napolio, who's trained under his dad and under Enzo, and we'd been following each other on Instagram. And him to just meet me and me meet him, I was more excited to meet him than I think he was to meet me. So it was cool to see all of that and experience Italy, and come back from it and be like, wow, that was an amazing experience. I can't wait to go back. I told Siler Chapman, I was like, I'm signing up for the next. I texted Tony. I was like, okay, when's Remy? When's Rome? I'm hooked, right?
Wow.
It
That's
was great.
incredible.
Orlando Foods did such an amazing job hosting us. It was like the Catalina wine mixer of events to go hang out and be with them and go to the Torre cheese tour and the Caputo Mill tour and meet Antimo. What a great time. And really, the people, I met so many amazing individuals that I've known for years on social media. This Instagram, we all know each other, but when I see you in real life, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
And it's always that little moment you have, like, wow, okay, now I'm meeting you in person. Wow, you're amazing. Like, this is great. I actually know who you are now. So that was really fun. And we had a great time.
That's so incredible. So I want to go back a little bit. Why did you decide on Hawaii?
Hawaii is a special place. It was where I did college. It's got some family ties. My family lives here in Oahu. I have two kids. My
Mhm.
oldest, Braden, who's 17, and my youngest, Bryler, who's 15. They live on Oahu. And I've always just loved Hawaii. I've
Yeah.
loved it. I grew up playing golf. It's where, I like to be centrally located to get to clients in Asia, the Middle East. We're doing this internationally now. So to be able to get from Hawaii to the West Coast, I'm able to get from anywhere in LAX to pretty much the globe in less than 48 hours. So it's a great jumping ground for us. And after traveling all of these amazing places, I mean, we literally were sitting in the veranda the other day looking at the mountain and it was just sunny. We were out on the backyard and we're like, there's no other place in the planet that feels like this. And Manila, New York, amazing places, right? Bali, which we've always had that moment where we're like, man, we could live here. And it's like, then you come back to America, especially Kauai, and you're just like, wow, the silence. When I tell people when we get to meet and we'll travel all these crazy airports, but to land in Lahui Airport and get to baggage claim and see, you hear roosters in the background. It's the only place in the world where your suitcase can sometimes have a rooster standing on top of it because it's an open air airport. And you pick up your baggage, and the amount of tourists we'll see when they first land and they're just mesmerized by seeing a rooster at the airport is mind blowing. So that experience hits me every time I come back to Hawaii.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I can understand that. Now, regarding pizza, what is your favorite pizza to make?
Now it's still a classic round New York, inspired style pizza with my little tweaks in hydration or fermentation. Now everyone's doing everything so crazy, but it is still a classic New York.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite too. That will always be my favorite pizza, I think. And what about your
Yeah,
favorite
it's
pizza
just
to eat?
something about it. What about my favorite topping style to eat?
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely, like, our favorite right now is shallots. I love shallots and some
Mm,
type of protein, so it's shallots and pepperoni has been our go-to right now, with either an
mhm.
upside down sauce or a sauce on the bottom, or we'll twist it up, and I even throw on, like, the bitchin sauce. There's the Greek yogurt bitchin sauce. I love that stuff on pizza.
Tell me
It's
about
so
that.
good. It's just like a different than an acid to have a cream sauce that you can just have in the fridge and spread on a pizza with
Mm.
mozzarella and toppings. Mind blowing flavor.
Oh, that sounds so good.
They do cilantro, they have a spicy. So I've been playing with that and we just kind of mix it up. It's between whatever our clients are doing. We have an R&D lab here in Kauai. As you see, we're here in my office and I have dough sheeters, dough presses. So I could press a tavern dough and have that for dinner tonight. Right. And so
Wow.
we're playing with stuff all the time. All of our on-site work that we do for clients and remote work, I actually work with all of the flour suppliers. So I have a barrage of sample flour. So I'm testing stuff. Right now, I'm working on a project with the client where I'm doing the laminated tavern style, where we're incorporating lard, cornmeal on
Mm.
a new concept. We're bringing the Irvine on a Chicago tavern style pizza. So I've been excited about cracker and thin crust. That's why I went to go see Rome and have the real Tunda pizza and see what's the deal with that, because it's light, it's easier to digest. I'm into thin, right? Detroit's great. I love the thick crust, but I can't eat that all the time. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be heavy.
Yeah, for sure. And it's either that or it's something to where I want to have that like nostalgic bite of having those layers of crust to sauce to topping ratio just be super minimal and balanced to where I could eat three slices of pizza and be feeling amazing after and keep going, not just one slice and I'm done type situation.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm in the same boat as you. I wanna talk about the future of Pizza Buddha and where do you think, like, you're going in the next few years?
The future of Pizza Buddha is exciting. We have a lot of good things planned. It's obviously growth, but in a realm to where it's not too much that I can't handle and give that personal touch that I got to give every client. So we're definitely growing our online presence. I'm working on launching online classes for really home bakers, but also some professional stuff to help with the basics of owning and operating, things that I feel like I've seen in the last, I mean, even 6 months, as to things that are so repetitive that I'm like, okay, I need to make something about this that someone can read and watch it overnight at 2 o'clock in the morning rather than hire me on site. And then in the bigger picture, they can bring us on site. Growing internationally, we have a here in Kauai, we're eventually going to start our own catering brand. There's so many weddings and private events. So we're working with a brand to bring out a wood fired oven and start fellow pizza here in Kauai. And definitely opening up the doors to having our lab here open to people to obviously come visit Kauai. So I have a couple clients who have come here and done some work here in our test lab, and continuing to grow that and just focus more on if we can eventually find someone to join the Buddha team and do additional work on site consulting, we'll look at that in the 5-year plan. But right now, these days, we're really 2-year plans, short term goals, quick. What can we do to maintain presence? What can we do to solidify in case Instagram goes out of business or, something like that happens? So
Yeah.
Carly's done an amazing job launching our newsletter, which we're adamant about pushing people. She just told me yesterday, she's like, we just got 100 subscribers to our newsletter. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing.
It's good.
And she puts a lot of time into it. And we put a lot of free information on there that's huge to
Yeah.
operators. And we're inspired by the Stanos Slaw newsletter that still gets hand printed and delivered to you from Steve Rouse, right?
Wow.
To me, I held dear to me ever since I've been an operator. And there was a lot of great insight that's true and genuine in the industry. And that's what we're trying to produce, and just do as much as we can to honor pizza, honor the craft, honor everybody before us. And my goal as a consultant is to continue to help everybody that I can and inspire as many operators who are in a rut, or operators who are having issues growing or even launching. And that's why I'm so honored to be here with you on this podcast, and be able to do this.
Absolutely. I'm very honored to have you on. Now, what is the biggest ask when you talk to owners and operators?
Are we going to make money?
Yeah, I mean that's relevant.
It's really, these days it's come down to get a lot of people asking about leases, how to navigate the lease.
Yeah.
It's different now from the pandemic. There's a lot of little things are slipping in there now. I'm potentially working with a client who was promised TI money, but he started construction, got into demo, spent a lot of money, is going to go ask for money, and landlord says, "Oh, you're not giving the TI money till the day you open. You didn't see
Jeez.
that in the contract." So, it's really that. And I feature a lot of equipment. A lot of people are asking me, what should I get first? Right. And it's not the rounder, it's actually the divider. And it's less about the machinery. It's, well, tell me your recipe. It doesn't have to be these. Do I have to make a 98% hydration dough? Do I have to buy a pizza master? So I've been kind of bringing clients back to reality of going, you don't need to do what, some of the amazing pizzerias out there are doing now to try and copy them, right? You can still make amazing pizza with the gas oven. You can still make amazing pizza with a planetary mixer. It's just technique and process, right? It's as simple as, I've been obsessed about this book, The Art of Fermentation. So
Oh,
I'm just like,
cool.
it's I'm on the science side, right? And I'm like, okay, how do I apply that in science to the business? It's that simple, right? It's ferment something, that principle. How do you apply that same knowledge to building out the restaurant, hiring staff, understanding what the P mix on the menu? So it was kind of a loaded question when you asked me that. They do ask me a lot, but I cover a lot in the intro call that I give them. So we spent 30 minutes on the call, and I kind of vet out their dreams and aspirations or their current issue problems. Like when I met Joe at DiMaggio's Pizza, the first time I went and consulted them, we did 3 projects with them. And the first time they didn't have a scale to weigh out the ingredients for the dough. You know
Oh,
this,
wow.
it's 60 years and 75 years. There was a moment in time where scales didn't exist. It was 2 scoops of this, 2
Yep.
scoops of that. And now they're getting consistent, but even more, they're understanding cost. They're understanding things that they never really looked at in the old school pizzeria. And believe it or not, these days, a lot of new ones aren't doing.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I remember when my grandparents ran it and it was just there wasn't measuring of anything. And then my dad went to Italy and he went into a bunch of kitchens and then he kind of came back and started measuring. And he was a superintendent and a math teacher and he's really good with numbers. So then he started to implement like the numbers and the business side of things. At the same time, I started to implement the marketing. And then that's when we saw the most growth.
It is. It's all about the numbers. And I preach it. I tell it to everybody. If it's great to have a great dough hydration, right? Great to have a cool, great. You figured out Baker's percents. That was step number one. Let's talk about financial forecasting. Let's talk about the costs, theoreticals, actuals. What are we bringing in for packaging? I use a amazing technique with clients to where I'm like 7 days in, produce 14 days in and out for prepared dry storage, right? So
Hmm.
anything perishable, 7 days, it's got to be gone. That's all we bring in. Perishables, 14 days maximum. If it's case pack size, we got to figure out how to break the cases or pick up smaller amounts. A lot of people end up becoming the storage warehouse for the distributor, which is the worst thing to do to your business because you're wondering where the money is. It's all in the shelves.
Yeah.
And that's where distributors, I always go, they should be like, you should be on them hard, like returning something at Costco or Amazon. If you don't like it, send it back. If you don't like the delivery days, tell them what days. If it's inconvenient for they always hate me when I do this and tell this on they see me eventually at hey, keys. I'm like, dude, you guys are offering a service, so help my clients get a better service. Give them more days to deliver. Offer to deliver on off-peak times. Don't have the driver show up at 5:30 when you're busy and staff can't put away the order. That's when the biggest accidents happen. The biggest worry, someone putting away inventory in the wrong place because then the next count, it's not accounted for. The
Wow.
amount of times I go into places where they're like, hey, we're out of straws. Then somebody goes, Frank calls and says, oh no, the straws are downstairs underneath the bathroom near the toilet paper. I put the case from the delivery. We had nowhere to put it, so we just put it there. It's those things as simple as that and that are so important.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, if you had one piece of advice, just the first thing that you would tell someone, what would it be?
Look at ask yourself, is it great to make a delicious pizza at home? Is it really something you want to get into building a restaurant, building a pizzeria? And when you build it, if you started from scratch and you did pop-ups and you were doing 7 pizzas and you were doing one item on top of that, maybe a dessert, and you got this viral success and had sellouts all the time, and you want to build your first brick and mortar, don't add 30 more items to the menu or soft serve and candy covered taffy apples, 12 different styles, and then launch with your brand. That's when they fail.
That's so smart. That's so correct.
It's such a big thing that I see guys doing right now. And a lot of my new cats on the block, I call them, I say,
Mhm.
guys, guys, gals, let's focus on doing what you did amazing then and just build it in a better location. Don't build the 4,000 square. I have to reel people back so many times on, yeah, we're looking at a great location. And I go, guys, it's $4 million a year you're about to sign up for, right? It's $4
Yeah.
million over 5 years plus the 5 year that you just signed away in liabilities that we're going to be on the hook for. Let's go to the smaller area, prove the concept in a little bit of a better location.
Yep. That makes total
So
sense.
it's that approach, and there's a lot of inventory out there. So do the homework. You don't have to build it overnight, but don't build the next Ruby Tuesday failure mistake.
Yep. Exactly. Okay, I want you to give your handles. If anyone needs to find you, how do they find you?
Pizzabuddha.com. Al
Good.
the Pizza Buddha on Instagram. We don't do a lot of the other platforms. It's just too much for Carly to manage. We try and keep it into Instagram. Pizzabuddha.com is the way to find us. You can book a meeting directly on my bio on Instagram or directly on our website. I get on those calls immediately. You're going to see me right now with the roosters in the background through the internet. Anywhere we are, we'll schedule. So that's the best way to find.
So, well, listen, I love the roosters. I love that you were on the podcast. You have a value, like so much information to give to people, and it's just incredible.
Thank you so much, Erica. It's an honor. I appreciate. Thank you for doing this for pizza, and I appreciate you sharing this to the community.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.